It's time for the real fun chat. Our first draft with our new teams. Get out the notes app on your phone. Like, get ready. Crack them knuckles. It's time to find some gems with our first ever draft. I am ready for this. I am ready. Yes, I would like to sim to the draft. White Sox get an offer. Ooh, Inoa. For him and ooh. That I wasn't expecting. I didn't know it was anything special, but he could be a good filler player for me. Damn, he hasn't been that good. Yeah, hijack. It's kind of crazy. It's already baseball time. I'm going to say no to that again. Get us to the draft. So, again, they changed it this year so that we can alternate between. That's why we're able to do this yet again. We are going to look at who my scouts have found and who your scouts have found. And chat, you guys got to work together here. Try and knock it out of the park with this draft. Are we ready? Let's see what we got. So, I am going to start at starting pitcher, as I'll be taking notes of people to catch my eye, and you guys might agree, but shout out to Josh French, who does look pretty damn good. My scouts have Josh French as the top guy in this draft. Has elite stamina, but not much else in terms of elite. So, I don't mind Josh French. I also have Andreas Olivo. Who again might be decent. Tough injury risk, but he might be decent. 18 years old, though. It's not too bad. Salvador Tejada. Thought it was Tejada for a minute. Total long shot. My scouts basically didn't look at him at all. Yeah, given my scouts didn't really look at these guys, there's not exactly too much to go off of. They kind of looked at Martin Hillman, but the guy's 22 years old. Out of Maine. You're my boy, Martin. That's my guy. Gotta have the in-state nepotism of Martin Hillman. Max Stone, 79-91. Not the best stamina for a starter. Good velocity. I mean, you're looking at a long reliever, basically. Steve Sixto, William Kwan. It's honestly not that bad. There are quite a few guys that could be half decent. Even Andrew Baker, who again my scouts didn't look at. I actually don't know if you can sort exactly by two-way players. They do have two-way players in the draft this year, though. Monty Marin, Robbie Sorensen, Alvaro Vargas. Why the hell is this? Oh, his overall is going to be low. It's a high potential, but a bad starting overall for Alvaro Vargas. Young player, though, would have time to turn it around. Diego Ordonez, 80-99. All right, so, I mean, granted, not all these guys have been looked at, but according to my scouts, they found quite a few pitchers that don't look that bad. I don't think any of them immediately jump off the page as, oh, I hope he's there for the 5th overall pick that I happen to have. But it's decent. For the relievers, turns out my scouts didn't do much. We're looking at relievers outside of Domingo Vesparis potentially being decent. Yeah, for high-end potential, my scouts didn't really give a damn about relievers. There are a lot of relievers. Roberto Mata could be decent. The guy's 22, though. A little bit older. Ryan Hilliard, again, another guy where a low overall would make him unusable because of his age, but my scouts are right about the potential. It might not be too bad. So not a great year for relievers, apparently. What about closers? Roy Serrano? Might not be that bad. Might not be. What's high-low ratings progress for young players every year? Elaborate? Elaborate on that question, please. Apparently, my scout only found like 4 closers. For catchers, Johnny Cardona. Guy's 23 years old, though. That's not great. Pablo Manuel. Mark Altman. Son of Matt Cardona. There you go. Gotta be honest, I'm not too impressed with my scout so far. Doug May as a first baseman. Ooh, I mean, he might be a good contact hitter, but our scout doesn't really view him as a power hitter at all. That's not great. I heard it's a little bit more dynamic in terms of player development. It feels like, as compared to like NHL, like how they're actually playing factors in a lot more. Javi Chavez, I mean, a long shot, but might be okay. What the hell were my scouts doing? I better hope I finish lower in the standings for you guys so I can try to get some better scouts. Sheesh. Second base. I mean, like, maybe Alexi Castilla and Jose Cortez, maybe. Fernando Mota, 22 years old. The overall is probably a bit low. At least that's what my scouts are indicating. Sammy Rodriguez. Scott was watching baseball and not taking notes, apparently. Third base. Phil Hancock. Kevin Burns. Ooh. He's a hell of a fielder. Potentially. Could also be a really good contact option. And that guy, in theory, Kevin Burns could be everything you need except a power hitter, basically. Very well-rounded. Jackson Familietti. Jackson Guy Fieri. We'll keep an eye on that. That's certainly a new name for the player pool. Oliver Ivy? Might be. Man, I got a 5th overall pick. And I don't have a damn clue. I'm not even acting right now to be like, yes, I'm going to act like I don't want this guy so chat doesn't take him in case they have a pick higher. I got nothing. I got nothing right now. Alfredo Rosario at shortstop again could be decent. Otto Royster. Long shot. You have anybody with a good potential range? Justin Tate's overall is probably trash. Left field. Okay, that's only 10% scouted, though. Salvador Marquez. Well, based off of what my scouts know about him, he's trash. He's got high-end speed, and he's got high-end reaction time. Jesus. Is auto scout broken? We'll find out, and if it is, then hey, we'll have the season take 17 years by scouting for 2 teams. Augustin Cardona. Speed. Arm strength and speed. Scouts only want to find new players, not actually look at them. Yeah, apparently. I think you need new scouts. That's, you know, that is a thought I am currently having. I'm intrigued to see if your scouts did better than this. Center field, it didn't like Corey Kaiser at all. Jose Batista. 24 is not on Game Pass for another couple of days. They want to get their big pre-order money. Chad Kennedy could be decent. Yeah, I don't know if we can trust the auto scout moving forward. We'll see how this draft plays out. Jason Brandon. Oliver Ortega's likely in the 80s. He's also 23 years old. And then in right, oh man. I just hope it's a matter of my scouting department sucking because Jesus Christ, I have no idea who to take 5th overall. Not a fucking clue. For you guys, because we'll have potential different information we essentially get to share. Your scouts do like Josh French. However, it is really looking like and you have the, oh, sorry, it's the Rockies' 5th pick. It shows both of us at the 5th pick because the lottery hasn't happened yet. That's what it is. I mean, your scouts like Josh French, but a very good chance of only being a B potential. Steve Sixto looking like a B potential as well. Your scouts really liked him. I mean, 100%. Derek Libby. Derek Libby, that's somebody my scouts didn't really identify. And I'll look at French. That's pretty similar to what my scouts are showing. Is that he's a workhorse, but his future attributes are a little bit shaky. And then there was Libby, where if that's accurate, I mean, home runs per 9, pitch break could be decent. Again, also relatively high stamina. William Kwan, 80 to 99 for William Kwan. Martin Hillman. Your scouts like these two as well. Granted, very minimal percentage scouted so far. Jared Roman, Olivo. My scouts liked him a lot more than yours. Vargas was on my list too, 80 to 92. Attributes aren't looking the strongest though. Anybody else super high end? Max Stone, 71 to 95, but only 8% scouted. 80 to 99 for Diego Ordonez, but only 10% scouted. Palmeiro might not be that bad. Sean Palmeiro. Anybody else with a really, really nice potential range? You guys? No. It's not too bad. For relievers, Vesperis, 79 to a 98 for the 21-year-old. Got Richie Conley, 75 to 90. Holy Gibbons. I mean, Gibbons could have a really, really good starting overall, but if he's only a C potential, how much better is he going to get? But he does have a really good starting overall. He does. Guaranteed C overall, so I do agree. Try to get that guy in the 2nd round. Who was the starting pitcher after Libby? Ray Betts and William Kwan. Let's see. Anybody else with a crazy high potential at reliever? It was Mata, 78 to a 92. It's not insanely high. I mean, again, right now. Ryan Hilliard. But he's 22. That overall might be low. Anybody else? Steven Lynn, 74 to a 91. It's not too bad. Let's look at the closing options here. Could we see Marquez? You gotta type this stuff sooner, my man. I'll be nice because it's the first draft. I looked at Marquez a long time ago. Attributes aren't looking great. Velocity is going to be above average to well above average, but nothing crazy. In terms of closers, Serrano, 75 to a 99, which isn't too crazy. Robbins is pretty much... Robbins is pretty much guaranteed to be a B potential. Individual numbers aren't that great, though. Let's see, 75 to 99 for Serrano. Very, very few closers. Like, very few closers that our scouts found. At catcher, your scouts also like Johnny Cardona, but again, he's 23 years old. Could be a great hitting catcher, but he's old. He is old. That could be a problem. Anybody else? Pablo Manuel, 72 to a 91. I mean, decent chance of being a B. Mark Altman, who my scouts also liked. Frank, we might set it up. I might end up waiting until tomorrow, actually. It depends on how the voice feels. But Road to the Show will definitely be back. C potential, 70 to 80, B 80 to... Correct. Correct. Shout out, by the way, to D's Nuts 3, the third of your kind. Thank you for the follow. First base, your scouts also like Doug May. Very good chance of being a B. Big power hitting first baseman out of Mexico. Not power hitting, contact hitting. He doesn't have much power at all at first base. Let's see. Outside of that, Javi Chavez, 75 to a 99. Roger Sorensen, someone my scouts also liked. There's a decent chance of him being an A, according to your scouts. In terms of the individual numbers, not looking too good. So, what do you choose to believe in there? I mean, the overall could just be terrible. Second base, Alexi Castilla, 76 to a 95. 75 to a 99 for Jose Cortez. My scouts ended up kind of liking him too. Same with Mota, 80 to a 94. Only 10% scouted, though. Scouts can be wrong, especially when they've given us this little to work off of. I think next year we will probably take a little bit more control scouting-wise. I think that's what we ended up doing last year as well. Third base, Kevin Burns. Pretty much guaranteed as a B. Really good contact against lefties. This guy looks like a hell of a fielder. Kevin Burns. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. He was the guy that I identified too, where it's like he doesn't have a power game, but everything else, my scouts kind of agreed. Jackson, very Italian. He was mentioned as well. More speed, defense oriented than opposed to anything at the plate. Oliver Ivy, another guy that my scouts had mentioned too, 72 to a 96. 73 to a 92 for Garrett Smart. Eric Heim at a 76 to 95. Attributes aren't looking great, though. Could be a lower overall, but again, also not that scouted. Shortstops, Alfredo Rosario. 75 to a 99. This is a total crapshoot for year one because of the auto scout. Total crapshoot. Damn. Justin Tate, 80 to a 99. Attributes don't look great, though. He's got good speed. He's got good speed, potentially. Not much else for Mr. Tate. Left field, Bartolo Domingo. Salvador Marquez, 80 to a 99. Again, speed, right? Look at that bottom right-hand corner. Not much else is really known about him. Well, your scouts certainly like the ceiling for Agustin Cardona. My scout said to pay attention to him as well. He has a very good chance of being an A potential based off of what you know about him right now. Attribute-wise, looks like he's going to be more defense first. I don't think that's a guy either of us take top 10, but third round, you get a guy like that in the third round, maybe the fourth round, then that's not bad at all. Not at all. Nobody else crazy good. Center field, Jose Bautista, 74/93. Has apparently everything but power based off of what your scouts know about him. For Jose Bautista. Chad Kennedy, 75/99. Kind of a worse version of who we just looked at. Joe Baptista. Listen here, Baptista. Jason Brandon, 80/99, but the overall could be low. Our scouts in Chicago had seen him as well. Speed threat. This is interesting because of the auto scout being so shit. And then you get Oliver Ortega right at the very end. 23 years old though. He's a pretty big risk. And then in right, your scouts didn't do much in right field. Luis De Los Santos might not be that bad. Might not be that bad. Chat's asking about Kaiser. I don't remember where the fuck that guy was. Oh, because of the overall. Good eye. Overall wise, he's an interesting one. But if he ends up being a D potential, he won't be a damn thing. You got to remember, I had that a couple years ago. I got a guy who was like an 84 overall out of the gates, but he ended up being a D potential. He never made it. He just didn't consistently stay. He was in AAA before you know it. To the draft we go. Who will end up with the higher pick? That is the question. Our first draft with our new teams. The Rockies will pick third. The White Sox will pick fifth. The Guardians have the number one choice. So chat will get the higher pick. All right. Also, can you set up a raffle? Yeah, I have to. Actually, I don't think we have to do a raffle. I think you guys can go with consensus over raffle. That's how we did it before. All right. We shall start the draft with the number one overall pick. The Cleveland Guardians select Corey Kaiser. Cleveland took Kaiser first overall. Holy hell. I mean, the MLB draft rank had him at 5. Wow. So that's the question. Who was right? Your scouts or the consensus rank? Second overall is Alfredo Rosario, the shortstop that goes to the Cincinnati Reds. That brings up chat with the third overall pick. Chat, who you want? Who do you want? I see we want Burns. Burns. It looks like chat wants Kevin Burns. I see no dissenting opinions. With the third overall pick, chat selects the third baseman out of Ohio, Kevin Burns. Off to Colorado with that third overall pick. And we'll see Just how good he happens to be. That could be a hell of a pick right there. One hell of a pick. You got the A's at 4. The question is, who will they take before my selection? And they took Josh French. Fuck. All right. Well, who does that leave me with? Doug May is still on the board. I probably was going to go with Burns, if we're being honest. And then I was going to go with French. And neither of them are there. Team rank has Serrano. Can't bank on it. Doug May. I don't know if I can bank on that either. There's Olivo. 18 years old. Really good potential for Olivo. On Robbins. It's a whole lot of pitchers. Martin Hillman. I mean, you guys made the right choice to go for a position player because there are a lot of pitchers. There's no way I can risk it on Johnny Cardona early. There's just no way. All right. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue who I want here. Olivo's certainly an interesting one just because he's so damn young. I am going to go with my gut on this one. I think. Again, Marquez is such a huge risk, too. I'm going to go for Olivo. Well, the top two guys I wanted wasn't there. A little bit worried about 40% interest. I'm going to take Andreas Olivo. And hope that he is a little bit better than what that report somewhat indicates. So Olivo off the board. Kansas City at 6. Take Bernardo Cordova, second baseman. I didn't really have him marked down as a player to keep an eye on. Cardinals at 7 take starting pitcher Eli Spence. Eli Spence. Yeah. At 8, the Angels take Doug May. So Doug May does go top 8. Pittsburgh at 9. Max Stone. Another starting pitcher off the board. Olivo did have an injury history to worry about, but I was willing to risk it. Nats at 10. First baseman Chu Chen. Chu Chen off the board. Got Detroit taking Steve Sixto. Okay. Sounds about right. Boston at 12. Sergio Segura. Projected 19th. A lot of pitchers early on. A lot of pitchers. Jose Bautista. Center fielder Bautista off to the Giants. The Cubs going to get a 14. Rodrigo Vergara. Another starter. Not surprised. Seattle. Third baseman Phil Hancock. See if they turned out to be right there. Neither of our scouts liked them that much, or scouted them that much. Wendell Roberts. The 23, dude. That guy's 23 going on 67. Jim Valentine was projected 24th. Another starter. So many starters. See if I made the right choice going for a starter. Ray Betts, also off the board. Projected 9th. He fell 18th to Tampa. Kenny the Jet Smith on his way to the Mets. Projected 21st, goes 19th. Blue Jays take Marcelo Diaz. Projected 11th. My scouts certainly did not like him as much. Your scouts liked him a little bit more than mine did. Minnesota, Martin Hillman. Let's go. Another starting pitcher. The Mainer. Goes in the first round. I don't think there's ever been a player from Maine taken in the first round of an MLB draft. Outfielder Hendricks Robles. The Robles. Projected 32nd, so goes a little bit early. Dodgers take Jared Roman. A little bit off the board. There haven't been any crazy off the board picks since I took Olivo. Cordova was 20th. Spence. Max Stone was the big one. 55th. And he goes top 10. Braves take Salvador Tejada. Another starting pitcher. And Padres take Otto Royster, shortstop. Projected 36th. Jackson, very Italian. Third baseman off the board to the Yankees. They might have gotten a good one there. Phillies, Mario Cortez. Second baseman, projected 38th. Final three, we have Houston up next. They took William Kwan, another starting pitcher. Razor, appreciate it, buddy. I've had fun, but man, I'm just glad to be home and not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm traveled out. Brian Cozada, and then the champions, the Texas Rangers. That's still weird to say. They ended up taking Andrew Baker, another starter. Prospect promotion incentives. So again, promoting prospects going to be a big thing. Aaron Weston gets selected, a reliever. And Baltimore. Didn't see who they took. We do have a Rockies pick coming up. Competitive balance round. It was Riley Gibbons. So Gibbons off the board. Roger Cedeno. We'll send him to the Rockies next pick here. Rory Serrano. Len Robbins. And Hoyt K. So let's see who's left for you guys here. Derek Libby is the top one listed on the board according to your scouts. Also, Alvaro Vargas, Andreas Marquez. I see Libby. I see Marquez mentioned in chat. I mean, those look like the big three. Ordonez, a little bit more of a long shot. Palmeiro as well, another starter. Any other names based off of the big names there? Marquez, Vargas, and Libby are the three I keep seeing mentioned. Again, Vargas, 80 to 92, 19 years old. Got Marquez, could be a decent. I mean, he's going to probably be mid-60s, mid to high 60s for overall at 22. And then Derek Libby, another 18-year-old player. So it looks like it's down to those three, chat. We'll run a very quick poll here to see who you guys want. Will it be Derek Libby, Alvaro Vargas, or Andreas Marquez? What pitcher, what starter do you believe in? Actually, because we were actually sorted by starters, just in case someone changes their mind. There is also Johnny Cardona, but he's the 23-year-old catcher, big-time long shot. The reliever, George Veras. You do have another pick in 4 rounds as well. Might not be the worst idea to get a starter after taking a position player. Domingo Vesparis, the reliever. Richie Conley, another reliever. Again, if you guys have seen anything that changes your mind instead of one of the starters, let me know. But right now, from the looks of it, it's going to be a Vargas win. Phil Shavitz. Saw Conley mentioned. Vargas is going to get the pick. Unless people want to put up an argument about Richie Conley. Any arguments, or do we go with Vargas? Going once. Going twice. Alvaro Vargas is the pick for the Rockies. I think that's a good pick for you guys, too. Get that guy 37th, based off of how he looks. Pretty damn good. Let's see, and indeed, you guys have another pick coming up. Off the board, George Veras, as well as reliever Drew Thomas and reliever Roger Gutierrez. So you guys are up again. I'm already seeing Cardona mentioned. The older catcher, Johnny Cardona. I also have seen Andreas Marquez mentioned. As well, left fielder Cardona. Left fielder Cardona is still there as well. The big question with him is, what the hell is that overall? He could be a B potential, but he might not be ready until he's fucking 30. What are we thinking? I need names, Chad. I need names. What are we thinking? All right, based off of what I'm seeing, I've seen Libby mentioned. I've seen Cardona left fielder mentioned. I've seen Cardona catcher mentioned. I saw Marquez mentioned. And Conley was mentioned in that last round. And if anybody didn't make it onto the poll, then we'll see. A lot of people shouting out Marquez here. Poll is up. Who's it going to be? Will it be Andreas Marquez? Who really will only be a couple years away, if that. Looks like it's between Marquez and Libby. Libby, 18 years old. Both of them going to be a B. There is an outside chance of Libby, like the smallest percentage of him being an A. And of his overall being higher. Very boomer bust, whereas Marquez is really more the safe pick. It's a close vote. Close vote. And the 22-year-old Andreas Marquez. Libby wins it by a vote. Derek Libby is the choice for the Rockies. There you go. Derek Libby on his way to Colorado, potentially, if you guys end up signing him. White Sox are up. White Sox are up. Now, Johnny Cardona's there. Sparris looks tremendous. Marquez is there. Go for the steal. Go for a total outside shot like Kennedy or even Ordonez. He's only 10% scouted, though. That's what scares me about him. I look at scouted Conley. I mean, my scouts really liked Cardona too. Competitive balance round. I do have another pick coming up. Competitive balance round B. You guys had a round A pick. That's not for a while though. I gotta get this right. Gotta get this right. Yeah, it's gotta be done. I am I'm going for Marquez. You guys didn't take him. I am going for Andreas Marquez. Hoping for the best on that front. Hopefully get a little bit more of a sure hand. So the big question is, who's going to be on the board for my next pick? Marine, McDonald, Magana, Calvert, Vesperis off the board. Ordonez, Kennedy. Johnny Cardona, the catcher, went to Miami. The name that is being cut off by my webcam is Antonio Rosario, the center fielder. And Palmeiro and Morales. Final pick for one of us before we head into round number 3. For me, there's no doubt. I got to go for the biggest long shot of the draft. I'm going for Cardona. I'm absolutely going for Agustin Cardona. Because I think you guys will take him. So I'm going to take him and hope for the best. I've already done some damage with my starting pitcher, so I'm going to be the one that takes Cardona here. And it might be a little bit early. Oh, shit, I'm on the Rockies. That's why it won't let me do anything. It's really weird. It just doesn't auto switch over. All right, Cardona. Let's do it, buddy. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hope like hell that he's good. So we want to go to the next Rockies pick. So also off the reed, Reed Dolan, Bartolo Domingo, Castilla, Valdez, Amori Batista, William Richard, Alonso Ramirez, and Daniel Spears, as well as Oliver Ivy and Felix Valencia. So, in terms of the guys that you had info on, and scout rank, there is Ryan Hilliard, the reliever, 81 to a 98. Not that much else, though, is there? A lot of long shots. Jason Brandon in center field. 80 to 99 at 21 years old. That overall could be low, though. Brandon, Hilliard, Roberto Mata. Hope that he's a B potential. And the pick went through. Well, that went by very quickly. Well, you ended up with Jerome Nelson. I will sim my next pick as well. I didn't realize the timer got cut down to just a minute. That's nuts. Jesus. Only gives you a minute. Like I said, I'll auto sim this pick to make it fair. Holy hell. Christ. Who has the next pick between the two of us? You guys do, so we'll hit sim the Rockies next pick. I ended up with third baseman Kurt Williams. All right, well, now we know. And you guys are already on the clock here, so let's see. Roberto Mata's still there. Jose Cortez. Sammy Rodriguez. I'm seeing chat mention Cortez. It's also Ryan Hilliard as a reliever. I'm going to make the pick with 10 seconds left. Let me know if it's not Cortez, but it certainly looks like it's Cortez. Man, only a minute left at this point. We're going to have to figure out the best way to optimize this. All right, Cortez is the pick for chat. The 19-year-old second baseman. For me, Jesus Christ, who even knows? Roberto Mata's there. Sammy Rodriguez. Apparently there's nobody left that my guys scouted, so that's great. Good job, boys. What the hell am I paying you for? What the hell am I paying you for? I mean, Javi Chavez to just take a risk. Hilliard. Gonna Go for Sammy Rodriguez and just kind of hope. That's all you can do at this point. Samuel, welcome aboard. Next pick belongs to the Rockies. Who the hell's left on the board here for you guys? Hilliard's still there. Yeah, the Q is definitely going to be a factor. I mean, Hilliard, Chavez. Those are looking like the two guys. Maybe Steven Lynn. Did I go past? No, I didn't. Hilliard or Chavez? Seeing a lot of Hilliard. Going once. Going twice. Hilliard it is. Yeah. Hey, you know, this first season, it's all about learning. How the best way to handle things are. I'm just going to go for the alternate, and I'm going to take Chavez. See if you guys made the right picks or not, basically. Welcome in, Mr. Chavez. And then we get to round number 6. Final round of this draft. For you guys, I mean, Teddy Merritt's not going to be good. Mark Altman, Roger Sorensen, Oliver Ortega, Eric Heim. I mean, seeing a lot of Sorensen and Altman so far. Luis De Los Santos, Justin Tate at shortstop. A lot of Roger Sorensen. Are there enough dissenting opinions? 20 seconds. Going once on Sorensen. Going twice on Sorensen. Sold to Roger Sorensen. Yeah, man, these later rounds get freaking hectic. I probably will end up with Altman. It's Altman or Ortega, but Ortega's 23. Justin Tate. He is actually that good. Wouldn't be too bad. How good was Tate? It's 22. Take Altman. So what happens when we have picks one after another? I end up kind of picking up the scraps that you don't take and hoping for the best. That was a very interesting initial experience with this draft. I don't know who the hell did well, who didn't, but I know I can barely see from this menu.